we'll lose some people because of this?
No,
because people still want it. You know, same kind of thing. People go like, "Oh, I'm never buying a Batman figure again." This one's got a new cape. Oh, a new cape.
The Geek Week in Review.
Hello and welcome back to the Geek Week in Review with me, Jacob Sawyers, the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell, and of course Ryan Speaks Geek. If you are listening on podcast, then please do check out the description below and follow those links and do all those things. And obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, and check the description blocks below for these gents and give them a follow as well. Oh, that's a mouthful. Gents,
and I didn't interrupt. This is why I interrupt normally, because it breaks it up for you. This is what I do.
I was like, blah, 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 blah. How are you guys? All right?
All good, all good.
Yeah, I can't complain. We're in October, so it's like the best month ever. It's Halloween month.
I love October. October's definitely my favourite month.
Fully decorated my my place with all the Halloween decorations.
Nice.
I said I was going to rein it back this year. I really haven't that much.
No.
So,
We're getting started. We are getting started. We went pumpkin picking. We got our pumpkins, so that's cool. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do pumpkin wise. It's got to be something geeky. Let's be honest. It's got to be something geeky. So, but yeah, we're getting there.
Starro the pumpkin.
Maybe. But October is mad for geek stuff as well, though. Let's be honest. Like there are so many waves that, so many. I was having a look back through some of the stuff that's been pre-ordered and put aside and stuff, and there's a lot landing in October. A lot of things landing.
My bank account is scared for this month because I put pre-orders through left, right, and center, and this is the month where it all comes to roost now.
Yeah. I did not realize until I'm quite good with kind of scheduling when things are coming out and stuff like that. But then I kind of looked at it and double took, and I was like, there is so much coming out this month that it's quite scary. And there's been obviously all the delays as well, where we've had a load of things that have been delayed. They seem to be landing now. So it's like
I heard there was like a virus or something going around that was really making everything difficult for the last year or 18 months.
There was viruses and there was strikes and all sorts. But yeah, I mean, in all fairness, it's great that we can get our plastic crack, as they call it. But yeah, there's a lot landing. It feels like I'm gonna have about 3 or 4 waves like just turn up at once, like just madness. And not to mention, we've had the Walmart Con or whatever they called it. We've had the Target one as well. But we've still got the big Hasbro one. We've still got Hasbro Pulse Con.
We've got you're forgetting about something else which is happening next week.
Oh, I know.
DC Fandome.
Mm-hmm.
The DC Fandome, wherever they call it. That weird thing they've got. And McFarlane is notoriously going to drop about 50 new Batmans.
They dropped the trailer, didn't they? Did a trailer for
maybe even a Robin
2 days ago. You know what really annoyed me out of that actually was that they've done and I don't even collect the Batman line or the DC line anymore, but they did the big pack with Joker and the Robins.
Yeah, and I was going to mention
people have chased those for so long, haven't they? Like
I was in the middle of doing I've been doing the most expensive Marvel Legends, the most expensive stuff. I was about to do the multiverse one, and Robin was the number one. And I just don't see the point now because it's going to drop in price and everything now. But yeah, people were paying between £30 and £40 for that one little figure, not even boxed.
No, just to get the 3 together, wasn't it? Yeah. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but did the single card release come with alternate heads?
No, the single card release came with 1 of 3 heads, and you had to basically go to every shop on the planet to try and find the other 2 heads that you wanted. And all the retailers online were saying to people, "We cannot guarantee which head you are going to get with your Robin," because also they just get the allocation. They couldn't then start sieving through and shipping to certain people. So it was a case of you got a lucky pick of the draw. There was only Rama that guaranteed you to get all 3, but he wanted a little bit of I think it was a little bit extra for the figures. I think it worked out about 80, 90 quid, something like that.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Put that
extra work in. I wish if this was a radio show, I would have like a dick move button or something like that, because releasing that as a pack is a really as a collector, and it's not even a line I collect or I'm interested in collecting. But when I saw that, I was like, "Wow, that's not that's not fair. Not,
move.
Yeah, it's like there you go. There's the soundbite that we're now going to use. But
you just give me a hand signal, I'll just do it every time. It's fine.
But it is though. It really is. And as a collector, I really felt bad because there, as collectors, we've all got those figures that we've kind of chased after or that we've paid over the odds so that we can have a certain collection. Like the Cuckoos at one point in the Marvel Legends line, the Danny Moonstar was another one. Yeah, or that one. But we've all had them, haven't we? We've definitely all had them. So I really do feel bad for the infamous Yaddle figure. You got it in really early. I'm not going to lie, that was really early. I glazed over that to see if you. Yeah, but okay, you did get it in early. But it is a real shame. Do you think that McFarlane will lose some people because of this?
No,
because people still want it. Because that's the thing. This is like the same stuff. Like, no matter what company makes it moves, it doesn't matter because they can just move it back and then release it when they want. And everyone does that thing where they're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna like McDonald's or something." They'll go, "I'm never eating McDonald's again." 1 week later, they're in McDonald's because they want a Big Mac. Same kind of thing. People go like, "Oh, I'm never buying a Batman figure again." This one's got a new cape. Oh, a new cape. But it's like, speaking of Batman, we have got a whole new world now. So now we've gone from build a figure to build a horse. Have you seen it? Yes. The DC multiverse line, The Dark Knight Returns. You get the figures and you build a horse. So now we're getting to build animals. I can't wait to see like what the penguin, build a figure thing's going to be. Maybe build a giant penguin, or there's just so many options now.
Admittedly, I want the horse because it's doing the rearing up, and I've got a headless horseman action figure requiring a horse. So I'm contemplating buying that wave just for the damn horse.
I was going to say the same because even though it is weird that they're doing a build an animal or build a vehicle or whatever they want to call it, but horses are really sought after. Like I think the best ones out there are the Lord of the Rings ones, but obviously they came out so long ago that they really are quite hard to get by a decent price. I still kick myself for passing one up. I was at one of the I think it was ID Toys actually. I was up that way and I was in their shop, in their old style shop, and there was one there like loose, and I passed over it, and I'm really annoyed still to this day that I didn't pick it up. But yeah, I'm the same.
You had the equestrian blues.
A little bit, but because it's rearing up and doing the kind of the hind leg thing, it is cool. And I was kind of like, do I get that? It
looks really poseable. I won't lie. Like I'm looking at it on the screen to the left of me here, and it's got hoof articulation. Never thought I'd say that sentence. There's hoof articulation. There's rein movement. There's just. I mean, the mane looks pretty fixed in place. It's not a soft goods mane, which I think you can forgive it. But the eyes, the eyes look like they've got a lot of soul in them, and that's something you really want on a horse-based action figure. So, I'm digging it. Yeah. I don't like the figures, though. This is the thing. No. The horse is good. The Batman looks good. I don't like the Superman. The Joker's not bad. The Robin looks wrong. There's something not right looking about it. I don't know if it's just the way they've photographed them, but I don't think they are actually good-looking figures. And I think a lot of people will probably, like you said, get them to get the horse. And then I think they'll basically sell on the figures. I reckon you'll see a lot of them really cheap without the builder figure parts online.
Yeah. That was the main reason I really did kind of think to myself, I really did say to myself, I don't need this because I don't think I'd make much money on selling those figures on because the market will have a lot of them on it. But yeah, so obviously, where were we?
There's still a lot of love though for that particular comic book of Batman, though, isn't there? So I'd be surprised if they didn't sell, to be honest. Without the horse, it's going to be a tough sell, but I think they will still sell.
Oh, I think they'll sell they'll go, but I just think if I was buying the wave to sell just the figures, I wouldn't make enough money back to justify the cost of the horse, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I can't believe it's taken 17 weeks for there to be a discussion about horses on this channel. That's the real crime here, guys.
We got there. Of course,
with DC Fandome,
next week, elephants.
With DC Fandome, we've got the McFarlane's panel, which hopefully will give us pipeline stuff for all the movies that are coming out. So if we have the new Batman come in, are we going to see some new Batman figures? There's still quite. They've only done wave 1 of Suicide Squad. Can we see them doing a wave 2? There's still some characters we could see.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Flash figures because obviously we know that a certain Batman is making an appearance. So I'll be interested to see what they do with that. But I must admit, I saw the McFarlane figures in hand. It was in HMV, actually. I was in HMV, and they're, we've said previous weeks, haven't we, that they are stocked full to the brim with stuff now. And I had a look at them, and it was the Justice League wave, and I was kind of like, you know what, they're nice, but I don't know, they're just a bit too big. I don't know, I was just thinking about them.
7-inch scale was a bad idea.
Couldn't get behind it. You know, if they'd done 6-inch, I think they would have opened up a huge market, because there'd be all those people that collect the Marvel figures that would go, well, I need Superman to stand next to my Iron Man, or I need Batman, and you know,
I've said that for years. People want to pose Batman opposite Captain America. You want to pose 100%. Iron Man up against Cyborg. You want to do the what if kind of battles yourself. And 100%. Bigger photographers like us, that's one thing you definitely want to be doing, is, you know, all them kind of like battle scenes between the two sides, and you can't do that because the 7-inch figures just look too massive.
Yeah, no, 100%. So that's the DC Fandome. They're calling it
Fandome. They call it Fandome, which is the
Fandome.
Fandome.
And then obviously we've got Hasbro Pulse Con as well. So
and
they've kept that quite under wraps. I'm not going to lie. I thought we would have seen more leaks. I really do.
On the subject, we haven't.
Yeah, I do as well. On the subject of leaks, though, we've got to talk about that leaked What If Wave 2 box that we saw.
Yes.
Now, obviously, it's been exposed as a fake. It was a Reddit post, and somebody has owned up to being the creator of it and stuff like that. So it is a fake. However, it wasn't a bad shout. I'm not going to lie. So they had Hank Pym, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Zombie Iron Man.
Yeah, Zombie Tony.
Who is the other one? Agatha Harkness and someone else. Black Widow. Did I say Black Widow? Brothor. There we go.
Thor, you know, and Build a Vision. Build a Vision.
Build a figure. Ultra Vision or Ultra Vision or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think it was either you, Sorrell, or maybe to the pair of you. But the thing that was a giveaway for me was the fact that Brothor was the one without a Build-A-Figure piece and not Agatha Harkness. But it would be cool. It would be cool. I think Wave 2 is definitely coming. I wouldn't mind betting that we will see some kind of hint or nod towards it maybe at Hasbro Pulse Con.
It's been too successful not to do more. Like, that's the thing. If it had been a bit of a flop, if it died on its arse, then maybe. But it's not. Let's be honest. What If has really taken off.
Oh, 100%.
And What If has only just ended this week. So, I mean, they can't announce the figures, and they couldn't really announce that big Ultron bad guy figure if they were going to release one as the BAF or whatever. They couldn't release that until the series ended, because it would be a spoiler figure.
Of course.
And we know that the spoiler figures always come later. So I think at HasCon you might see Wave 2, hopefully.
Yeah.
Announced, or at least another Disney Plus wave that might feature the new Hawkeye, like the live action Hawkeye. With Agatha Harkness, and then a few more What If thrown in.
They've got to give us a Kate Bishop. I really do want a Kate Bishop. I mean, we need an updated Clint Barton, without a doubt. We definitely need an updated one, but I think they need to go back and give us the kind of Thor or Avengers or something like that, like one of that, or even Civil War. Like, there's so many kind of good costumes that we've not got figures for, or we've got old figures for. On the subject of Agatha Harkness, though, obviously it was announced that they were, it's in the works that they're doing a standalone. Yeah.
How funny would it have been if What If ended and it just went, it was Agatha all along.
Yeah, just straight into that. But I'm really pumped for Agatha. I think it'll be exciting. I mean, I don't know if you've read, but there's quite a lot of noise on the internet. People are kind of
her stories,
one side or the other.
Her stories interweave between Fantastic Four, Avengers. So I mean, they could do a whole backstory where she's the nanny for Franklin Richards, and that could be a way into the Fantastic Four for them.
Yeah, massively. But that's the thing, is that she has got quite a rich comic book history, and I think that the people that are complaining are the people that are solely kind of the television show fans, and they're kind of going, well, how are you doing a spin-off show for a middle-aged white woman sort of lead role, that kind of thing? And
I was thinking about it. I was literally thinking they could literally do it where she is like the nanny of, say, Richard Franklin or somebody, because she plays a nanny, doesn't she, in the comics for Franklin? But it could be anyone. And then basically you're looking back on her memories of the Salem witch trials, and They could really do that, like have her like narrating what happened, telling the stories to the kids or something almost, and then at the end of the series you find out she's talking to Franklin Richards, who's got the Fantastic Four shirt on or whatever.
Like, essentially,
would be
like
awesome reveal,
like a Marvel never-ending story.
Yeah, basically.
sits down with a book on the first episode and tells the story of hers.
But you tell me that the internet would not blow up if the moment they pan that camera back and she shuts the book. Okay, Franklin, time for bed. And like, that would be just that would boom, internet blow up.
Yeah, it would.
Fantastic Four massively.
Speaking of going back as well to the Ultron thing, I was looking at the What If promo art as well, and I'm sure that the Ultron figure was on that original kind of poster that we had where Peggy Carter was in the front.
Yeah.
You had Ultron on there. All right, so let's have a chat about What If, because obviously that's been the big TV news this week.
Rubbish.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
It was incredible. I think like it really was a good season finale. Yeah, I don't even know where to start with it. It was just
they got so much in one episode. So much.
Yeah. All right, let me start with my criticisms. My criticisms, okay. Two main criticisms here. The first one is, and you must have seen the memes and stuff online about that, you know, Guardians of the Multiverse at 100% and it shows the team, and then Guardians of the Multiverse at 99% and it's just Doctor Strange, like basically saying that the others did pretty much nothing. And I think that is a shame. I think they made a Doctor Strange character in it was obviously massively strong, but they did kind of downplay a lot of the strengths of the other guys, which I think is a shame. But my other main criticism, it's not so much about the episode, but more about the series, is they dropped an episode out of this one. Did you know that they dropped an episode out of this series? Yeah. So there was one more episode that was due to be aired, and it was a comedic
9 was another number.
Yeah. And supposedly it was the episode where we see Gamora and Tony Stark. So it's their backstory and their episode. And if you actually watch that final episode with Ultron and everything, it does play out a little bit funny because everybody else that's been pulled in had their own standalone episode. But then Gamora and Tony Stark, like, why are they together? Why is he in a Hulkbuster with Sakaar designs on it? Like all that kind of stuff. Why is she wearing the Thanos armor? And she's just kind of brought in and there's no kind of backstory. So that was my only criticism, that I wish they had given us that episode. But the good thing is, well, timing and stuff like that, I think, because of reasons that they couldn't get it finished or something like that. But they have said that it's going to be in season 2. So we might see that episode at the moment in season 2. So, but yeah, that was my only disappointment, because I was kind of like, they look really cool, but we've got no backstory here. So, and Tony Stark didn't die. Did he?
He didn't die, but he didn't really do anything either.
No, but they didn't kill him off in this episode, which was
what you didn't see plus. Just off screen. There was that tiny little explosion in the background. That was his.
Yeah,
that was his.
But interestingly, the suit that he's wearing as well? Do you remember the Lego sets that were leaked for What If?
Yeah, kind of.
No. I
so
don't.
The reason why I'm annoyed that we didn't get that episode is the Lego set of that Hulkbuster armor transforms into a car. So you look it up afterwards. So the Lego box shows that the Hulkbuster on the front, and then you turn around to the back and it shows Tony Stark in the car where the armor transforms into a car. So yeah, so I think that would have been quite fun to watch. But I just think it would have been interesting as well, because I don't think Gamora and Tony Stark did much on screen in the Avengers films, did they? They didn't have any kind of, there was no real crossover. I don't even know if they shared the screen.
Gamora and Tony Stark.
Yeah.
No, not really.
No,
they didn't have anything.
No, because she's dead, isn't she? So
yeah. So there was no real.
It was alert, man.
Oh, mate, it's been how many years now? It's just because obviously it's her. She's from another universe, isn't she? By the end of it, it's a different timelines version of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't share the scenes at all.
So it would have been an interesting one.
Oh, that's interesting. So just looking up that set, you said Valkyrie was a minifigure in it as well.
Yeah, she would have been a character in the episode, let's be honest. If it was on Sakaar, then you can essentially imagine it would be a lot like Ragnarok, I think, like with the same kind of characters. You'd get Korg and all that kind of stuff. Funny you should say spoiler alert though, because I was out with my kids at one of their clubs the other day, and we were talking. A couple of the parents were talking and stuff, and we got talking about Marvel. I think I had like a Marvel T-shirt on or something, and we were chatting away. And then one of the parents was like, "Oh yeah, I love this character, this character," and she was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And another mum was like, "Oh, I really like this person, this person." And then one of them was like, "Oh, I'd cried when Tony Stark died." And then one of the other mums went, "We've just started watching them all. Like, we haven't got to that film yet." I was like, come on, it was like how many years ago? Like that's
20 odd films to get through. Come on.
You cannot, like, that's not fair. You can't, but yeah, so there are still people out there that are joining in and getting on board. But yeah, as an episode, I really enjoyed it. I don't know.
I liked the little ending for Peggy. When they did the whole thing and she was trying not to go back to her time, and the Watcher was really insistent that she didn't have a choice to go back, because they need her. And then actually, when you see that little bit at the end when the armor's there and Steve's actually in the armor, well, it hints that Steve's in the armor,
and there's someone inside.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice, because it makes the Watcher a little bit more personable, and actually maybe he does bend the rules a bit, sort of thing.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's as obvious as that. I think it's very much along the stories of something's happened, and because I can't remember what happened to him at the end of the episode.
Well, the Watcher?
No, Steve Rogers in the
nothing.
Hydra.
You just see him sort of go like, "Oh, Peggy, no," and then like he cuts to the future. They don't really mention that he's.
So he doesn't die off or anything, does he? Yeah.
No,
see, anything could happen.
Like a Bucky type situation, maybe.
Yeah, but then I wonder what happens with the Bucky and the Winter Soldier story and everything, because obviously there's. I mean, it's who knows how it's going to go.
Season 2.
I quite liked. I'm going to be honest. I quite like the little. You can't call it a bromance because they're girls. I don't know what you would call it, but the relationship between Black Widow and Peggy Carter, I quite enjoyed that. No, but there must be like a tagline for it, like a bromance and there must be like a word that you would give it. I don't know, but it was just, I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a real nice little touch. Speaking of which, stealth armor, Peggy Carter, Captain Carter. As soon as it,
it's a repaint. You knew it were coming. Come on.
As soon as I saw it on screen, I was like, this is happening. We're going to get this figure. If this figure's not announced by the time I've watched this episode, like it's coming. But I was a little bit gutted. I must admit, I was a bit gutted because obviously the hair's wrong.
Yeah.
And they've done the shield wrong because obviously the shield was different in the episode as well. And I was like, it's a very easy repaint, but you've kind of got it wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm going to get it. Like, it's hands down. But I just kind of wish they had put a little bit more time into it and not kind of rushed it out. But that obviously came. When did that just kind of dropped out of nowhere, didn't it? That was just announced.
It just randomly announced. I think it was a part of the.
Oh, it's the Target. Yes, it was because she's a Target exclusive. So it was part. That's why it dropped out of nowhere, because obviously Target did their online thing, and then it hit us as Marvel fans, as it does through the various channels and stuff. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are complaining. I mean, like, I put it up on my Instagram, and there's a lot of love for it, but there was a lot of complaints about the hairstyle and the shield and it just being a lazy repaint, etc. But
I don't want to be the one that says this, but you knew it were going to be like that when they
100%.
It's an easy win for them. They get another figure, another £20 out here for the same mold. They're just repainted with the same head sculpt we had last time. It's an easy win, and they're getting money for the book that they've made.
Yeah, and the thing is that
feel like just genuine question, like on that subject. So exactly what you just said, like Ashley, about the figure. Like, do you not feel sometimes like a bit of a mug? Like, I find myself sometimes I'll get like I'll be holding something in my hand. I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm like, but it is the same, and it is really nice. And like you said, even though it's not done right, and I'm like, oh, I could fix that, but like I shouldn't have to buy something to then fix it to be right. And I kind of feel like I'm sort of been mugging it off, and then I'm like, am I actually doing worse because I'm still buying it? Is the lesson not to not buy it, but then you want it? It's a bit of a quandary. I mean, it's a very middle class problem to have, isn't it? Like, my toy is not correct. I may have to repaint it myself, but like, I do feel a bit mugged off sometimes. I feel like a bit of a chump.
It is when the worst I've ever felt, I've got to admit, is with Star Wars, not Marvel. And that was because I think I own about 6 of the same Boba Fett's, just slightly different with a different armor piece or something remotely minute difference. Or that they've painted this one in a glossy silver paint. You know what I mean? And I've picked up the same damn figure. And then they released it again now with jetpack and flame effects. And it's the same figure. I've already got that one. I've got the flame effect from Marvel, but no, I'll buy the Star Wars one.
I'm not doing that carbon collection. I'm not. They're not going to get me, and they're not feeding me into that. I'm not doing it.
I
fell into that one. Boba Fett in the Carbonite looks awesome.
What about you, Jake?
I've got a Carbonite Boba Fett.
Metallic Boba looks awesome.
Guilty. He is a really cool figure, though. I was
kind of
like,
I don't need a metallic brief cargo.
It's like I've got the metallic. No. I've got the metallic Darth Vader, and I prefer that to the regular black one because the regular black one on camera looks a little bit too dark. That dark blue one on camera looks amazing. It's like it's got a nice shine to it. It looks really nice.
My take on the repaint situation is a simple answer to your question is no, I don't feel like a bit of a mug. The time I really did feel like a bit of a mug, and we're going back maybe 2 or 3 years, was when we weren't getting as many figures as we get nowadays, especially with Marvel, for example. And they would release something and I'd buy a second, or I'd obtain a second so that I could repaint it in take Peggy, for example. If we got Captain Carter 3 years ago, we wouldn't be getting that repaint necessarily. We would just be getting the standard Peggy Carter because they wouldn't put into production a repaint. And then I would get another one and repaint her as a stealth and then post that custom online and stuff like that. The time I feel like a mug is when I've done that and then they've released it. So if I had Peggy Carter in hand and I'd bought 2 and repainted one, and then they release a repaint a few months later or a few weeks later, that's the time I feel mugged off, when I'm kind of like, oh, come on. Like, you could have told me before I bought the second one. But they see the way they are kind to us now is they don't seem to drag their heels too much with the repaints and the kind of the retools and stuff. They seem to come out quite quickly after the first ones, which are quite interesting. But then look at Thanos, for example. Like, the Build-A-Figure armored Thanos was, is the Build-A-Figure, and everyone complained because he didn't have the right sword and he didn't have the right gauntlet. And then a couple of years later, they give us another armored Thanos, but this time he's got a different gauntlet on and the sword is correct, but the armor's not quite right. And so it's like, come on, it's the love of collecting, isn't it? They're never going to be exactly right, are they? They're toys.
They're not toys.
Sorry,
they're collectibles.
Collectible action figures. But you know what I'm saying. So I do and I don't. I mean, there are certain things that I feel a bit mugged off for. So like the quantum suits, for example. So when they released the quantum suits, I'm going to put my hand up here and I'll brag a little bit, but I was one of the very first people to repaint them white. And it really kind of blew up my Instagram at the time as well, because I'd obtained enough to do a full lineup and then I repainted them all to look the right color as per the trailer. And they gave us the kind of silvery, gross kind of, they just looked like cheap toys, didn't they? They just weren't right. And then they did a 2-pack with Black Widow and Hawkeye and a load of different heads and silly little things like you had an Iron Man helmet in it, but in the film he never wore the quantum suit with his Iron Man helmet. It was one or the other. But I did all the repaints, but they've not given us a kind of an official look. So I feel like I kind of got my time out of those. If they gave us a re-release now in the official colors, I'd quite happily buy them, even though I had the other color, if that makes sense. So it's, I don't know, it's half and half really. And you don't have to buy them, do you? I mean, do you need a stealth Captain Carter, considering she was in 25 minutes worth of animation?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Tune in next week. Just end it on that. Yes.
Did you need a stealth Captain America figure for the same reasons? He was in that costume for the first part of that film, but they still released a figure of him, and he's still massively sought after because people really like it.
See, this is where as well, I think as well, a lot with Marvel Legends, I love the fact they're so easy to kit bash. They're so easy to swap and change heads, bodies, articulate. You can do all sorts of the Marvel Legend figure, and there's plenty of videos online of people that'll show you how to do it without breaking your figures, which is great. So I think there is enough people out there now in this community that do that like that now, and releasing all these figures, all that it encourages is people just to make their own figures out of them. Like that, everyone's now buying Shriek, is it? Shriek.
Yeah.
From the new Spider-Man wave, and then basically taking the head off and putting Black Widow's head on it. And you've got yourself a nice shiny Black Widow. Yeah. Rather than the matte, like a matte finish paint, they've now got a nice shiny version. So people kit bash left, right, and center. I used that stealth Captain America and put a civilian head on it and used him as like a US agent kind of guy. Like, and I just had him in the background of photos. Like he goes around with US agents sort of thing.
No, I meant the. I know what you're talking about, the Gamerverse one.
Oh, I meant the.
No, I meant the Winter Soldier version.
Oh yeah.
So they gave us but the Gamerverse is a prime example though. They literally gave us the Captain America and the Iron Man, and then literally a week later they released a different coloured Iron Man. It was like blue or something, wasn't it? Yeah. And a different colour Captain America. But like you say, the stealth Captain America. No, but the stealth Captain America one is an awesome figure for army building, like you say.
Yeah, like an army build one, isn't it?
I turned it into a Punisher. I did like a Punisher Warzone film. Yeah. So I turned one into that kind of look because it was all armored up and stuff. But there we go. Went off on a tangent on do we feel like mugs? Thanks for asking that.
You're welcome. Gotta bring these subjects to light, It's the Geek we can review. We've got to review these things.
So what if then? Let's round that one up then. Did you enjoy it? Was it a good finale, do you reckon?
Very good finale. The little bit at the end where Steve was, Steve's in the suit. I was hoping he was going to be zombified. That was going to be the cliffhanger. I were hoping they were going to open it and it was going to be
yeah.
That actually, there.
Speaking about zombies,
for me, we didn't get the head of Paul Rudd and Spider-Man.
I was really expecting Spider-Man and stuff to be pulled in because of that big talk up that it's just us left and we've got to do this. And I really thought they were going to come in as part of the team. I'm really disappointed they didn't. But
he was going to be the speech giver or something.
Were you not massively disappointed by Wanda's little inclusion? Like she just kind of like it's like a World War Z kind of like all them zombies falling out of the sky just looked incredible. And then it was like, it's not about the zombies, it's about what comes with them. And then like Wanda's there and
what happened to her again? I can't even remember what happened to her now.
She literally did this and then that was it.
Yeah, but like what happened to her? Like did he destroy her? What did he do? I can't even remember.
I think he just made her sad. It was he pretty much didn't he? Like he just, she did this, he did this, and then she cried, and then that was it. Like it was just
mental health, the secret 7th mental health Infinity Stone. That's just under the collar.
I hope if this program's taught them one thing, I hope that it's that we could have an entire series just of zombies. Just call it Marvel What If Zombies and give us a whole season of zombies.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun. That episode could have done a series. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good finish. I love the Watcher. I think he's a really cool character.
I want to see more of him.
I didn't go into it expecting to enjoy him as a character as much as I did. That makes sense.
I don't think it's the end for him. Not even because of season 2. I don't think it's the end for him in the MCU. I think we'll see him appear in the films with the same voice.
Yeah, it's going to be, isn't it? 100%. It'd be so easy to CGI, do the same, it'd be so easy to create him. So speaking about MCU then, how many, because there's so much speculation about Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness that we're going to see X, Y, and Z appear in that film. Do you think any of these characters from What If are going to appear in that film?
I think we may get maybe just a Doctor Strange reveal of that new big Supreme Doctor Strange, the big ultimate bad guys Doctor Strange. It could be cool to see Bennett see him in that because it's Benedict Cumberbatch. They could do that with a bit of makeup and a new suit, and it would be a perfect little. He maybe talks to himself at one point. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. Maybe as a warning, I messed with the universe and this happened. You need to set things right, sort of thing. Yeah, that'd be a good way of fitting him in.
Yeah. I agree.
Just a very quick cut, like just one of those things where it shows like so many different things at once or something like that, and it's one of the things in like if we split the dimension into like a big fan shape, something like 5 different dimensions, we'll see one of them being the the What If one or something like that. Maybe I think that's what we'll probably see. But then I thought that with the Avengers, I always really thought that with Endgame, I really thought that the like the TV series, like the Defenders and that, I really banged on I was so confident that it was going to be a case of, superheroes fighting around the world. And I thought that's how we were going to get introductions to a lot of superheroes. First of all, I thought it was going to be like the news stations and news reports in different countries, and you're seeing different like news reports, and it's all local heroes fighting in those areas. And I thought we were going to get all these little intros to characters, little cameos. I thought we were going to see like the Defenders fighting the streets and stuff like that. I really thought that's how they were going to connect to all the TV stuff at that time, and I was so confident in that, and they didn't do it.
No. I think they're going to bring Captain Carter in. I think we're going to see her somehow.
I hope that they save her for maybe a Captain America movie, though. In Doctor Strange, it would be a random thing to have her just show up. I think it could be more of an impactful thing if you see her maybe interact with our version of Steve from our MCU, from our timeline or something. That'd be pretty good.
But he's done now, though, isn't he? Like he's not.
Even with Bucky with Bucky and Falcon, I think the fact that she has her own shield and things like that, and you bring her in, and she's basically Captain Britain, isn't she?
Yeah, basically.
That could make a very cool dynamic for like the Captain films. I don't see how she would fit into Doctor Strange other than the fact that she's come from another universe.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a leak or something. I don't know. You know what part? I must admit, but as I was watching it before we kind of move on to something else, the bit that when they saw at the end and they took Natasha and she didn't want to go back to her world and all that kind of stuff, and he said, "Oh no, come with me." And then he said, like, they've lost their widow, and I was like, no way are they going to bring her into the main timeline because they lost their widow sort of thing. And then she was just in some random other timeline. I thought, man, that was such an opportunity to just leave that door open. But it would have been too messy. It would have been too messy. But there was part of me, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, hang on, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And they did.
It would have taken the emotional punch out of her sort of death in the thing as well. If they
I think her court case took the emotional punch out of it for me. To be fair, I was just no. But fair enough, she won it, didn't she? So she's back.
I love the fact that she made like a thing of saying, well, thank you that justice has been done, and that she wants to move on now, and that she thanks Disney, and she can't wait to hopefully work on future projects. Disney said nothing.
Yeah.
There was no. It's okay. We'll see you in the future. They just didn't respond.
No. So is she not back on? Because wasn't she on something like Haunted Mansion or Tower of Terror or something like that? She was signed up for one of their films.
I think so, but I'm not sure which one it is. Tower of Terror is coming out though very soon.
Maybe it's not that then. I thought she was tied to one of their future projects, and then this happened and it all went quiet. I don't know.
It might be recast now.
So that was, it was a good finale. It was a good finale. So yes, I mean, toy wise, that not a lot happened, was there? There wasn't a lot going on.
Lie.
No,
I
mean Black Series and Marvel. That's what I mean.
That's your world, but in the other worlds, Transformers world, there was a little bit.
There was a little bit. Haslab got backed. 20,000 backers.
Star Sabers got backed, and now they just got to get all those unlocked, the stand and the little Micromasters. But I mean, it's very weirdly, it's very Japan Transformers heavy at the moment, because that's obviously the Haslab is a Star Saber, and Victory Saber and everything. But the next sort of masterpiece sort of line that they're doing is the train bots. So everyone knows a lot of the combiners that you got like in G1. So you had like Superion, Defensor, Bruticus, Devastator. But in Japan, they had one that was called Raiden, which was 6 train bots, because trains are awesome, and it looked amazing. To be fair, as a G1 toy, it was pretty cool. They're actually doing the masterpiece scale, so they're going to be really huge. I mean, the problem is it is apparently going to be $177 for one of these, and that is one part of 6 bots. So it's going to need 6 different bots to make the combine over the year. So granted, they're probably going to release maybe like 2 a year, but that's a big investment. I mean, it's going to be a big combiner when it's all done, but that's still a lot of money for a masterpiece figure. But the first one they're doing,
quite a lot.
Yeah, is Shauki, I think it's pronounced. It's hard to know because shockingly my Japanese isn't that good. But yeah, so it's going to be a lot of money. But I mean, the figure looks amazing, but that's a big investment, because if you've got one, you're going to have to get the other 5 if you're going to have the combiner.
Yeah, no, it's not a. Luckily, I'm not chasing Transformers myself. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy for those that that they're after that. It seems like quite a niche thing to have like a high market, a high price thing in the market where you've got to collect a handful of them and stuff. That surely that's a very, very niche market of people that are going to get that.
Possibly. The Masterpiece line is really popular, really popular. The only thing that's now combated that I would say in level of popularity is the Studio Series. Studio Series Transformers are incredible. I mean, I've got one of them here, which is the Studio Series 86 Cup, and this is all from the 86 movie. And these figures are so screen accurate to that original cartoon movie. Like, and they have got ones from the live action films, but I'm not really that big a fan of those. I don't mind watching the films; they're all right. But the actual, I mean, Bumblebee was probably the best one by far. But the actual Studio Series is like, they're just so good. They are so close to the actual cartoon and the film. Even some of the accessory stuff, they're amazing, and like, but they're also affordable price points. So that was 15 quid for that. That's much more affordable than a Masterpiece, which the Masterpiece normally comes out on average between 40 to 60 pounds, depending on the scale of the figure, because they're all in scale, but they are more intricate. So people are saying that this could be the new replacement, the sort of the everyman's version of the Masterpiece figures, is to get those childhood sort of nostalgia feels from getting something that looks just like the cartoon, but without having to pay Masterpiece prices. It's clever for Hasbro, actually. And the backdrop is always gorgeous on them as well.
There was talk of the new film as well, wasn't there?
Beast Wars, the Beast Wars sort of thing. Beast Wars meeting the new live action sort of Transformer style. And it looks, they've done some of the vehicles because they're filming it at the moment. There's some vehicles shots that they've got. I'm kind of intrigued. I just don't know how it's going to work in live action. I love Beast Wars because I grew up with it. 90s CGI series, reboot, Beast Wars, 90s CGI was just like,
do you remember how the yellow saber-tooth Power Ranger droid used to run? That's how I imagine the Wolf's going to run at Bumblebee to attack him.
Saber-tooth tiger. No, got it.
Of course, it's Michael Bay, so it's going to be massively over budget. So I mean,
a monkey's going to trip over and explode. Michael Bay.
The Transformer films, I really enjoy them. I'm not going to lie, but I literally can watch it, turn it off, and that's it, and I don't think about it again. But I did enjoy them. I didn't hate them.
I was hoping that Bumblebee was going to be some kind of a soft reboot, and then they've just gone completely off the other end now, because now this new one that's coming out is linked to the old ones, and oh god, they're going to end up
stuck with Bumblebee because Bumblebee was so good.
Yeah,
the Bumblebee film I really enjoyed, and it had John Cena in it, which is always a plus.
Well, I didn't see him personally, but
no, you can't.
Gotta do the joke.
Got to get the joke in. So while we're on the subject of films and trailers and stuff, Resident Evil.
Oh my god, yes, it looks so good.
Welcome to Raccoon City, I think it's called, isn't it?
A film that is based on the damn games.
How long have we waited? Now this is a reboot, isn't it? They are rebooting the series, like completely rebooting it, and I think it could really do well. I'm hoping they've not missed the boat, because obviously with Walking Dead and all that kind of stuff, we've been overwhelmed with zombie stuff, haven't we? And I know that we said that Marvel could do a whole What If Zombies series, but that's slightly different. The Walking Dead's been out for, well, they're on the 11th series now, and you've had everyone in their production company kind of try to mimic that kind of zombie post-apocalyptic thing. So I really hope, but I really hope that there are certain people that it would have appealed to. Don't ignore it, because it looks so accurate to that original. When was it? 90s?
Oh, it's definitely Resident Evil. God, yeah.
No, Resident Evil 1. Like, and that game, Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation, to me was like, that Resident Evil 1 was a scary game at the time. Like that was a scary game. And when you think back to the graphics and the actual gameplay, it's not that bad. But there was
96.
Was
that
it?
Makes me feel old. 96.
Yeah.
Feel old.
See, I remember remember the school holidays, being on the PlayStation with my friends, like just playing our way through it, and then it just looks cool. It looks cool.
Awesome.
I'll never forget when you used to turn on Resident Evil Nemesis, and it used to do that Nemesis.
Yeah.
I used to jump out my skin every time. I was only young at that time, but my god,
it was the bloody dogs that always used to get me in the game.
Yes,
the dogs every time.
Smashing
anxiety.
Yeah,
you knew it was coming every time you replayed it. You knew it was coming, but still, I was like, that basically people that said, "Oh, Dead Space was scary." They didn't suffer the dogs the first time round.
No,
They had.
it did not.
Didn't know.
Resident Evil dogs. No, but they featured in the trailer, didn't they? We saw those, and I believe they smashed a window as well at one point. They smashed the windows. So, and we saw the I can't remember the official name. Were they lickers or something? The ones with the big tongues and no eyes, like them ones.
Keep it accurate to the games. All we need is a Tomb Raider film where you can lock the butler in the freezer, and I'll be a happy man.
But I think it looks awesome. I think it looks really cool, and it's what are their names? Claire and Chris, is it? Claire and Chris Redfield. Yeah, so they're both obviously in it. And is it Leon?
Leon, yeah. Was
Leon the police officer that we
Leon's
saw? He was Resident Evil 2, wasn't he?
He was.
Yes, yeah, of course he was. He was the cool character that you got in Resident Evil 2, and we all just wanted to kind of be him. But yeah, I just think it looks really good. I just think it looks like really accurate and just, I don't know, and just quite sinister. Like the idea of they're testing on people and stuff, and hopefully it will erase the
conspiracies.
Well, it will erase the awful original films that
I'm not
nothing
sure.
to do with it.
I'm not sure because annoyingly, when you read the actual synopsis, it says it's, especially if you go to their website, which I've just done just to double check on some names, it does say returning to the origins of the massively popular Resident Evil franchise. So this might
means the origin, which is to the game.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. I'm hoping.
Yeah, no.
The thing is, I will guilty pleasure. I will watch those other Resident Evil films. I stand by the first two. The first two I actually think are really decent. Yeah. But the other ones, I still watch them. But you know what that really annoyed me? And it was the same thing that annoyed me with the Michael Bay Transform movies. It was the what do they call it? Continuity. Yeah. Characters are just forgotten about. Like there's not even an explanation. There's not even an off-camera explanation. Someone's walking next to someone, then they're just gone. Yeah. And then suddenly in the last shot, they're like back going, "Whew, we did a lot of work there, guys. Where are you? Who are you?"
For me, it's up there with those type of films where you can just shove it on, drone out in the background. You can just be playing while you're doing something, and it's there. You know, what I mean? Films like that, and you've got like your Fast and Furious franchise, and all these weird, just ridiculous action films that have no meaning. Like Van Helsing, for God's sake, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. If you just take them at face value for what they are, they're okay films. It's just you don't think about them too much.
Did you catch Dave Bautista's is it Army of Dead that came out?
I love
that. Was good.
I thought it was amazing. I thought that was so good.
Well, so many people. So many people.
Is there a prequel
based around the safecracker guy?
Yeah,
it's based around him, the German guy. Have you not seen the trailer?
No.
Oh man, yeah. Oh,
I knew something was coming, but I didn't know there was a trailer out.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. I mean, because the Army Dead one was awesome. This is like the prequel, and it's all about his his other bank jobs he's done during this zombie apocalypse thing. It looks great because I mean he was one of the best characters. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he was. Good.
He was. It looks good. Good cast as well.
I really wish they'd have continued that storyline that where I thought they were going with that film with the zombie baby thing. I wish they'd have kept that going. And kept that as like a thing because that would have been like the first born zombie. That would have been amazing, but. Off.
But I don't know. There was something just really cool about that film. It was
very comic booky, very 90s action. So just silly.
It just reminded me. It just reminded me of a computer game. Like that's what it was. It was like watching a computer game, like all the really stereotypical kind of team members and just the different levels of bad guy. And I thought it was a lot of fun. And all the big explosions and it's just a good one. But
I like the idea of having.
I thought they would, which is always nice because sometimes you can almost predict the order people are going to be sort of bumped off in. Actually, it wasn't the order I thought. It was all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order.
I like the fact that the film started with a story that was already in progress. It wasn't like we're going to learn everything from the get-go. It was you just got thrown in that middle of that hole. They've already been there a while and they've already got a backstory, and it just felt like a proper breathing little universe. It was perfect. But I love the idea of having the like alpha zombies. I like that, and like that weird woman, the female zombie. She was awesome. Like
the territories and stuff as well.
Yeah, like they're the territories. If you fed them somebody as a sacrifice, they'd leave you alone. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. It was very cool. And just based in Las Vegas as well. It just made it really cool. It's like Let's just bung a load of zombies in Las Vegas.
That's the answer to our earlier question about with the Resident Evil thing about zombie films. Like that's a new zombie film that done really well. Was done really well, and then Zombieland Double Tap, long time before that came out, but that again was really good. A lot of people went to go see it.
No, but here's my argument, right? And this is the reason I brought up that Army of Dead was because do you not think that a film like that would have been like a lot bigger if it had come out 5 years ago?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like at the peak of the zombie, I was going to say zombie apocalypse, not the peak of the zombie apocalypse, but at the peak of the zombie, like for me, the zombie craze kind of started dropping off kind of midway through The Walking Dead. Like people were really into it and everything like that, and then it lost a huge audience base. Like a lot of people just were kind of like, yeah, we're kind of over this now. And then there's been a lot of zombie things that have come out that haven't done as well as I think they would have if they'd come out pre the dip. And I think that Army of Dead is a prime example. I think it would have been huge. And even Zombieland,
if that a cinema release would have been better as well.
Yeah, definitely. But I love Zombieland. I think Zombieland was brilliant. And at the time the original Zombieland came out, it did really well. And I think Double Tap could have done as well, but there was too much of a gap, if that makes sense.
Zombieland was just America's answer to Shaun of the Dead, though, wasn't it? It was never taken seriously.
No, it literally was a case of
brilliant.
Yeah, it literally a case of.
I can stand Jesse Eisenberg in. I hate him so much.
I think he's brilliant in it. I think he's absolutely brilliant in it.
He's the one film I can watch him in. Otherwise, I just hate him so much. Why is he Lex Luthor? Why?
Was he Lex Luthor though, or was he Lex Luthor Jr.?
I didn't mind him as Lex Luthor.
He was a bag of wrong.
I'm going to say I did not mind him as Lex Luthor. I'm just going to say this publicly out here now. Like, it's everything about the DC, apart from Aquaman, everything and maybe Wonder Woman, but there's so much that's wrong with the DC, the way that it works, that he was enough right to fit into that, in my opinion. I don't know. I didn't watch the Justice League and go, if we had changed that Lex Luthor, this would be an amazing film. I was just kind of like, he kind of fits with it.
I never took him as Lex Luthor. I always assumed he was Lex Luthor Jr. Because I always remember that Lex Luthor Jr. had the long ginger hair, the short, the bob ginger hair. So that I always assumed that was where they were going with that. They just didn't say it.
No. And they never mentioned that he's the Lex Luthor.
The Lex Luthor,
yeah. It's never really. I always, because of his age as well. Because when I think of Superman, Lex Luthor, Batman, I think of them all very much the same age bracket. Do you know what I mean? It's they're very much the same age. And you look at him compared to like Ben Affleck and stuff, like he's clearly not. He's clearly a lot younger than them. Mm-hmm. So there is that kind of, And I don't know. Yeah, I didn't mind him, but I think you've no, Sorrell. I think you've hit the nail on the head for me though. Is I don't think I saw him as the Lex Luthor, but a Lex Luthor, and I think that's why I didn't mind him. So there you go. I just had a realization mid show.
Just to go back to Resident Evil, Ada Wong's in this film as well.
Oh, really?
So Ada Wong, yeah. So it's Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy, Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, and Ada Wong. Nice. So all the characters, and Albert Wesker as well.
So
all the original characters are there.
Nice.
Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield, they're the partners, aren't they? Are they the partner? I'm trying to remember now. Or is Jill and Leon?
Jill and Leon, I think, isn't it? And then Chris and Claire.
Chris and Claire, yes, that's it. Yeah. No, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm really so excited, and I think that they did something that a lot of films haven't done in a while, and they released that teaser trailer like 24 hours ahead, basically saying, "Buckle up your pants, like we got a trailer coming." Like, and everyone started talking about it, which I think. Mm-hmm. Built up enough of excitement that obviously when the trailer did drop, everyone then was carrying on with it. Speaking about dates, go on.
I was going to say, did you see that Scream did the same thing as well this last week?
Scream?
Yeah, obviously Scream, the new Scream's coming out very soon. So they released
a trailer.
Not a trailer, no, but they did that thing of saying something's coming, keep your calendars open, Halloween.
Yes, I did see it.
So,
that.
I missed the trailer.
No,
I thought I missed the trailer.
Yeah, we're expecting the trailer to drop at some point this month, basically.
Yeah. And that's another one I'm really excited for. Like, I'm really excited for Scream. I hope they stay true to the originals. I hope they don't try to Rob Zombie it, kind of like make it.
I'm hoping this comes back full circle to the beginning and ties something into the very beginning with all those characters coming back. It would make sense to do something where it ties everything. That would be
together. Cool. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Do you think we're ever going to see Sydney behind the mask? Like, is she going to be the killer at any point?
People keep saying she's so traumatized that she becomes the killer.
It would be so predictable.
Allude to it being that, and then I think they'll fake out. I think they'll make it look like that is the case. They'll fake out because they'll think everyone's expecting it.
But that's Scream. That is Scream, isn't it? It's Scream is literally a case of it's this person, no, it's him or her. But yeah, so I think they might do that. Talking to trailers and stuff though. So we're now quite a few days into October. Now the rumor is that we are going to see the full length trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home before or around the 22nd of this month. That was what I've read. The full, because obviously what we had before was essentially the teaser, and we're now going to see the full length trailer at some point towards the end of this month. And
the 22nd would be the con, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro Con as well. So they'll probably announce some figures maybe based on that.
Yeah. So how true that is?
Trailer drop there.
How true that is, I don't know, but we are definitely due to get that trailer, that second trailer, this month.
I'd love it if we saw Matt Murdock, please.
Can you imagine
Murdock? They keep teasing it.
I think all I want to know to see him than Tobey Maguire, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, see, I wonder whether they're cutting those trailers now because they've made such a thing of the other Spider-Men aren't in it. Like, can they put together a trailer that looks like has got enough continuity in it that doesn't show you the other Spider-Men? So we're literally walking into that cinema on the day to actually see whether they're in it or not. But
I think that'd be replace it with Tom Holland every time, and it's actually a different Spider-Man. Because they did that in the obviously the Endgame trailer. There was obviously all that stuff where like Black Widow was in bits that she wasn't definitely in. Thor didn't have his sort of big beard and PTSD stuff in the trailer. It was all that stuff that wasn't in the trailers that they CGI'd out or changed. So maybe they'll do a trailer, but they'll just replace what would be a different Spider-Man with Tom Holland every time.
They gave us an entire scene where Hulk ripped out of the Hulkbuster, and that never happened.
Yeah. They gave us a toy.
Yeah, they gave us a toy based on it.
Production line based on it as well.
I still wanted to see the Kraglin scene that they shot, that because he was meant to have a big scene in the Endgame fight. He was going to have Hondo's arrow, and he was going to be on a big Ravager motorbike. He was going to have the big fin on that he inherited from Hondo. He was going to have the arrow. They apparently they shot it all, and they shot it all. Why can't we get these deleted scenes? I don't get why they don't let us see them.
Yeah,
just thinking of these deleted scenes stuff. Do you think we'll ever see the Ravagers team with Stallone in it as a film?
I don't know.
Because they teased that, didn't they? At the end of the film, they teased that there's another team and it's Stallone and people are in it.
But that
awesome.
I can't remember off the top of my head now, but that team is in comic books. Like if you Google it, they're like the original guys, aren't they? But I think that would be amazing. But I think I don't know. Yeah, I think it's. But that'd be really cool, wouldn't it? To see like even if it's on the Disney, like, well, they've got the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special thing, haven't they? That's supposed to come out. Like, even if it's on that, even if that's the I don't know, that would just be
Stallone turned up to get a present from Groot. Is this one for me?
No.
But
I was there and I got a present from a tree. I couldn't believe it. He showed out to me and I said, "Hey, there's a Christmas tree. There's a Christmas tree gave me a gift. That's holiday seasons for you people. Welcome to
there you go." But there was loads of teams there, weren't they? Because Miley Cyrus was the what's it in the jar as well, like the head of the boys. Like there's so many people.
Lex Luthor in Smallville was the guy that made out of crystal.
Yes, yeah. But he was in Stone's team, wasn't he? But yeah, so supposedly we are going to see another Spider-Man trailer very soon. So I'm massively excited for that. Massive. The three main things I want to know is I want to know who the sixth person in the Sinister Six is, because if they only give us 5 villains and they don't do a Sinister Six, that would just be a massive
Slap in the
Like,
face.
massive disappointment. They've got to give us a Sinister Six. So I want to know who that is.
Ish 5.
See, but I've had another prediction. So, what's his name? Ned in it. Now, his name in the film is the guy that becomes Hobgoblin in the comics. And there's a lot of rumors that he becomes Hobgoblin because if you look at him, he's lost a lot of weight. He's working out. He's a lot more athletic and stuff. And there's a lot of rumors that he's kind of working towards this super villain that he's going to become in the films and stuff. Now, if Green Goblin's been brought into it, it would be very because No, not even that. I think it's going to be something else because Hobgoblin in the comics basically is someone that stole Green Goblin's costume and became his own version of the villain. And then all of a sudden we've got Green Goblin coming in. I don't know how he would get there, but it would be very easy for him to obtain some of Green Goblin's stuff and essentially create this new suit. But
I think I said it in one of our previous talks. I'd love it if the William Dafoe thing was the voice inside Ned's head.
Yeah,
no one else can hear it. It's like he gets hit with the green stuff and he turns into his Hobgoblin, but he's got the voice of the Green Goblin guiding him to becoming the Hobgoblin. I think that would be enough because I mean William Dafoe's not a spring chicken to come back and do any action scenes. So I mean that would be an easy way out for him just to do the voice.
Could actually there be a fact that obviously the whole idea of Ned not having his memory erased, if he never knew that Peter was Spider-Man, would he have somehow gone on that journey and became the Hobgoblin had Peter not told him he was Spider-Man? Because that's the whole thing, isn't it? He's trying to get him. So maybe, a bit like a what-if situation. If Peter never told Ned that he was Spider-Man, but Ned then found out later on and felt so betrayed and became like, comes in, maybe we're seeing a different alternate what-if type story within Spider-Man. Maybe that's how Ned's going to do it. Who knows?
Yeah. But that's my one thing. But I also want to see whether there is any tie-in with Venom yet, or whether they're going to hold on to that, because obviously we've seen that teaser at the end after the credits and stuff. So are they going to act on that now while it's hot property, or are they going to wait and drip feed that later on?
I think Venom's a big enough ticket at the moment as it is with the Carnage movie, just because Carnage is in it. There's enough. Everyone's going to go to cinema just because it's Venom versus Carnage.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they could get away with that end credit scene that we know has already kind of leaked. I think that would just be enough for that film, just for us to go, oh, we've had a Venom movie this year with Carnage. Now we know Venom's in the MCU. He does that whole, oh, that's Peter Parker sort of thing or whatever. And then he's in the next film. It would help.
See, my theory is again like about this whole Venom coming into Spider-Man, right? Because if we're getting this next trailer on the towards the end of the month, so say the 22nd is what it is. The 22nd is the best part of a week after it's officially released in the UK. Mm-hmm. So the whole world have had this film out by then, and then a week after we get this trailer where you see he's crossed. I don't know. I'm massively fanboying here. I just put Venom in that film, like it's. But and obviously I want to know whether we're going to get these two other Spider-Men as well. Have you noticed as well? Netflix. Have you seen what Netflix have done?
Put them all on.
Yeah, they're like all on there. I've been watching Andrew Garfield's again, Matt. And I'm still going to say Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is still probably my favorite Spider-Man. Not the film, but the character Spider-Man.
I know, Tiny Knives, my only weakness. How did you know?
I just think as Spider-Man, he portrays Spider-Man as I read him as a kid, if that makes sense. Like the very comical and like I love his Spider-Man character. Not so much as Peter Parker or even the bad guys, but when he's in the suit, I think he's incredible. I think he's brilliant. So yeah, I don't know.
I always thought for me as a kid, Toby was meant to be the animated series version of Peter Parker for me. That's where they were going with that character.
Yeah.
So I never saw the comic book Peter Parker in Tobey Maguire ever.
No.
It was more of a just
I always just thought, like watching despite the Tobey Maguire ones, even though I liked the films, I just couldn't get over the fact I just thought he was such a drip. I was just like, whenever he's on screen, he's like, Spider-Man. I was like, stop crying for 5 minutes. Every time. It's like, come on. He's got a very slappable face. There's a German word, actually. It's a very specific German word, which is Backpfeifengesicht. And its literal translation is a face in need of a fist. And that is what I see in Tobey Maguire. That's the problem.
I don't know. I love the Tobey Maguire films. I even like Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, same. Topher Grace did that amazing fake post, didn't he?
Grace
made the fake comic, the fake press release about him returning.
Yeah, as Venom. But I don't know.
Topher Grace is the skinniest Venom you've ever seen in your life. It is the funniest thing on the planet, isn't it?
But I was still massively hyped when I saw Venom in the trailer.
I was a kid.
I was like, it's Venom! Venom's in the film! And then I came out of the cinema.
Eric Foreman.
Oh yeah, Venom was in that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. But I love Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy as well.
Yes.
Like, I think she is fantastic. I think that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, like the character Spider-Man, is brilliant. Yeah, I'm just massively hyped. I really hope it's going to be what we think it's going to be.
Everyone thinks this is dead thing to say, like a bit controversial, but I would love for her to come back as MJ, Emma Stone as MJ, because I think she's got the right level of sort of sass and geekiness to pull that role off and be that kind of love interest for Peter Parker.
There was whole scenes with MJ filmed for those films, weren't there?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that? Yeah. Whole films. But
Weird times.
Yeah.
Are you guys a fan of the current MJ?
Yeah,
I love her as an actress, but I'm not into her MJ at all.
I don't think she's done enough for me to be. I know it sounds really stupid. Like, I kind of feel like I need to see more of her. Like,
she hasn't really done that much. She was a Disney star for a long time. Did a program called Shake It Up for many years.
She's a fantastic actor, without a doubt. I don't know. I just
her MJ for me is a bit too different from what I'm used to for MJ. I read the comic books at the time of you pulled that whole calling him Tiger and winking and cheeky sassiness of MJ. I don't see that in that actress. She's too different. And
it was the really red hair, the freckles, you know what I mean? It's just she's not my MJ from what I remember. I love the character in the film, and I think it works and whatnot.
He works in that universe. He works in that universe, definitely. Opposite Tom Holland, she's perfect. I mean,
the Flash Thompson, though, I saw a lot of people weren't happy about his casting online. But I think he's brilliant casting in the new ones. He's so funny on it. Like, Spider-Man's everyone's hero. Hey, Peter, dickhead. Like, he just anyway.
But his hair's blonde in this new film. Did you see that in the trailer? Yeah, you go back and watch the trailer, and when they're walking into court or school or whatever it is, but they're walking past all the people holding up the plaques and stuff, and you see MJ's with Peter, and you see Ned behind him, but then just behind one of the other characters, you can clearly make out that it's the Flash character, but he's got blonde hair. So the Flash actor, but he's got blonde hair. So a little bit more comic book accurate in that respect. But yeah, I don't know. I love the Spider-Man films as they are, but I think this is definitely going to be a defining one.
But why is Flash Thompson a mathlete? He should be an athlete, not a mathlete.
They've changed far too much of it for it to fit. But even, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean,
would it have been too cheesy in '90s to do it as it was? Because then it would just literally be the original film again. They needed to change things to make it separate enough from the previous two incarnations of that character. So I see why.
But like, look at Aunt May. Aunt May just gets younger and younger. But to me, you say Aunt May, and I think of that animated series type of like really old woman. But realistically, the modern Aunt May is a lot more realistic. But
it'll be Peter's parents' sister, and also Tom Holland actually looks like an age he would be in high school or something. Like, that's the other thing. For the first time, we've got a Peter Parker that looks age appropriate. Because Andrew Garfield looked like college. He looked like college Spider-Man. So he was sort of, where they say like the literally as he's leaving high school, that was sort of worked a bit for that. The Tobey Maguire one, no one was buying that.
Yeah, but all of the characters in that film were like in their 30s. It's like Friends all over again. Do you know what I mean?
I'm pros now.
They're all like way too old, but Ryan's just deadpan still now. Like he's just there he is. Every time. But yeah,
I love that. I love when your camera dies and we're just left with you at a slight angle going.
Sometimes it's not actually even frozen. I just need a break, and I just.
That's how to get out of a Zoom call, isn't it? Oh, yeah, breaking up.
And then the cat walks past.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else happened? Let's have a look. That was
so. I got some stuff. Let's
on
talk
then.
about it. So, Power Rangers. Did we all see the Power Rangers drop this week?
the Scorpino one or was it that one?
No, that's been announced ages ago.
Oh no, that came. Yeah, no, that's just coming. Yeah.
That's coming in about a week or so. But no, we've got the Power Rangers 7-inch scale Zords. So
oh yeah, of course. Yes,
so
I did see it.
And now we finally know why they made the villains 7-inch scale.
Yeah,
because they'll look appropriate opposite the Zord now.
Yep. Yeah. No,
I'm happy about that. Definitely going to be. Sorry,
they've dropped like 5 of them, haven't they? Like 5 different. Was it 5 or 6 of the different? Four. I knew it was a handful of them, but
so yeah, first wave is the Mighty Morphin Dino Megazord. Then we have the Thunder Megazord, and the Ninja Storm Ninjacon, and the Lost Galaxy Megazord.
Nice.
And they all come with like. Do you remember you saw my Transformers that came with the like videotape for Dracula? It came with like an 80s like a retro videotape. They've done the same thing with this. So it looks like a cassette that you wrote on as a kid that says Lost Galaxy episodes and things like that. They've written on it like it's a child writing it, and it says like Galaxy Megazord, do not overtape, mum, and things like that written on it, and it's made to look retro.
Love that. That's the way to get into collectors' hearts, isn't it? Really, it's just to chuck that on there.
Jacob clearly did not want to talk about Power Rangers and has done a runner.
It is not morphing time for him. I have got the Hasbro Morpher actually. I was waiting for another helmet reveal because obviously we've got the pink, white, and red. So
I'm here. I was looking for my Power Ranger thing. I had something Power Ranger related, and I can't find it now.
Yes, we've got the 4. They're not badly priced at $19.99. I think that's really reasonable. They could have charged a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I was
20 quid standard price at that. I mean, the basic figures these days, even a basic Power Ranger is $23.99. So I mean, these are cheaper than regular Power Ranger figures.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know about the Power Ranger figures myself. I got out of it. I got out of the Power Ranger line.
So yeah, for me, I'm in the same sort of boat. I'm not really massively into anything other than Mighty Morphins. I'll only be picking up the Dinozord. I won't be grabbing the Thunder Megazord and all that jazz. But I will get the basic, just the Megazord, so that I can kind of feel like I've completed my Power Ranger lineup there.
So
do you think there is
the helmets, the Morpher, the Dragon Dagger, and that Megazord? I'm done.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that there's going to be a Haslab project in the future? Because that it just screams Haslab. Come on, let's be honest.
A Thanos or something like that, maybe.
A Megazord.
I don't think Power Rangers has enough of the Hasbro style following to get a Haslab out of it. Like Marvel Legends sells millions of units. I don't think Power Rangers does. I think Power Rangers is one of their secondary. It's like Marvel, Star Wars are the 2 major franchises. Then they've got that secondary line like your GI Joes, you know what I mean, and your Power Rangers, Transformers. I don't think they have a mass. They're more niche markets.
Yeah, that would be a cool Haslab project though. Let's be honest. Like what's it? A Megazord.
A Megazord,
big enough that you could like take apart and that'd be incredible. That would be incredible. I had one when I was a kid, and it wasn't the Megazord, but it was what was the show that it was based off of? The Super
Saiyan. No,
is that Sentai? So I had that figure, the Megazord, and it was all metal and it's incredible. And like you could move it around and build the big character, and I wish I still had it, but that's what got me into Power Rangers.
Favorite bit of trivia from the original series was that the crossover between Super Sentai and when we got it is that the Yellow Ranger was male in the original series.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, I don't get why Trini doesn't have the skirt. It's because the footage is of a dude.
Yeah. Which is very obvious when you watch it as an adult. You can see that she morphs into a man and then morphs back. Like it was very, very obvious. But I don't know. That is cool news for Power Rangers fans though, and it's taken them a while to get the Zords out, but that was cool. What else we had?
Good.
We've had something else that's awesome. We've had NECA announcements this week, and they're bringing back the Gremlins. So
I saw that.
It's so hard to get hold of some of these original Gremlin figures now. They're so expensive on the secondary market, and when you find one boxed in a store, they want like you to remortgage your house for it. So So NECA are very kind. They re-released all of them and given us a few new ones as well, which will be exclusives. But the original wave is coming back. We're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 figures in the wave, and then 2 exclusives. So
Nice.
I'm happy about that. I'm going to get them all.
Yeah,
I don't particularly need another Gizmo. I've already got 2 Gizmos now. I don't really need another. But obviously, like Stripe and stuff. And
Did you spill water on one? Was that the problem?
Yeah, but we need all the others definitely, like from the new batch and stuff. I want them all.
That'd be cool. I might have to pre-order that wave. I'm not gonna lie.
There was a new NECA gargoyle, wasn't there as well, which we're never going to see in the UK.
No, we're never going to see that. But just to go back to the Gremlins, the one thing that's going to annoy a lot of people.
Forget about your gargoyle.
Sorry, man. I just wanted to mention the Gremlins are coming on card backs, so a lot of people won't want to open them.
Right.
They're coming on retro card backs, so the big, tall card backs with a bubble. And it's
okay.
So they're going to be hard to get off. Sorry, but you were saying about your.
Well, apparently no one cares about gargoyles, so I'll just leave.
I'm so glad about it. I love the gargoyles, and I would love the figures.
I'm joking. I still think it's like one of the best series from the 90s. It was Disney's answer to the Batman animated series.
Yeah,
and also had like pretty much the entire cast of the next Star Trek Next Generation in it. But like, the new figure looks awesome, but again, you're just not going to get it here. I mean, at all. It's just you never see them around anywhere. They can be super money. This is Theolog. And it looks good. Like, it looks really awesome, and it looks so good for photos. It looks so photogenic as a figure. Like, it really does. But we're just not going to get it.
It's a shame.
I don't understand, because I know we can't get it over here, and apparently it's due to licensing issues, but yet Funko can release Funko products of them. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
why can Funko do it, but...
Yeah.
Is it because Disney haven't approved NECA? Because like Disney haven't made, there's never been any NECA Disney products at all.
That's
so I mean, is it because Disney won't physically give NECA the rights to their products, and Disney maybe they're to do their own down the line at some point? I don't know.
The thing that NECA do a lot of horror, don't they? They do a lot of.
I mean, is it just Disney don't want to get into the
kid friendly and
saying
that 28 days later is on Disney Plus? Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but it's not a NECA figure of them. So.
Look, Goofy, there's a lot of zombies coming.
It might be though. It might be because of the fact that NECA. So if you think about it, if Disney kind of agreed to that, and then essentially you've got a kid buying a Gargoyles figure, or going, "Look, I've watched this Disney show and I want this Disney figure," and then it's by NECA. What else do they do? Well, that's just a Pandora's box, isn't it? You open that up and you see like limbs and heads and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably a good guess. It's probably something to do with that.
More likely.
Yeah. Was that it? Did we get anything else?
We got the pre-orders now dropped for what we said at the beginning, the Batman Who Laughs with his Robins 22 box set. It's currently online at $66.99.
Oh,
woo. That's just devalued a lot of Robins.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, that's a heavy price tag, but at the same token, it's not
figures,
in comparison to. But what people were paying for those Robins, it's not actually that much.
And it's four figures for $66.99. They usually 20 quid each.
Less than 20 a figure.
Money's there wise, but yeah, it's just annoying more than anything as a collector, isn't it? To see something that's so hard to come by but get repackaged like that. It's like I would feel a massive kick in the teeth if they were to repackage them Entertainment Earth exclusive Marvel Legend Guardians of the Galaxy figures. If they re-release those, now I would scream, because I've spent about 300 quid on them damn figures.
Yeah,
if they just re-released them for $66.99, I'd cry.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is with Marvel Legends, obviously they've always said that they'll never do a straight up re-release. There'll always be something different. There'll always be something like a repaint or a resculpt or something. So there'll be something different enough that the ones that you have are still unique, So I think Guardians are coming at some point. Yeah, Guardians will be coming at some point, but yeah.
I've got something very 90s this week.
What's that?
So I'm actually a really big R.L. Stine fan, and I love Goosebumps.
Well, Goosebumps?
Yeah, I am. I actually collect the original Goosebumps books. Weirdly, they very rarely appear in charity shops. Apparently, people hold on to them, but there was so much merchandise back in the 90s that you don't see it very often. Weirdly, and so I just came across this guy.
It still works.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I had to open it up and like clean all the connections on it, but it's yeah, I managed to get it working again, so I was very happy with that. It takes 3 of the oddest sized batteries. You know that you get that weird sheet from Poundland because you need one of the batteries on it, but you have to get the whole sheet of random ones. They finally came in handy. I was like, this is my moment. I was like,
I got 15 of these batteries in a drawer, like finally. But
specifically
cool.
for Goosebumps figures from the 90s. Wow. Gee whiz.
That is cool.
So that was my only real purchase this week, actually. That was it, really. Keeping it, that and a broken FX7 vintage Star Wars figure that I'm gonna customize. But that was my. What about you guys? Any big customs deliveries this week? I mean, Jake, you're eternally going through Eternals now, though, aren't you?
I am getting through Eternals. I must admit, though, I've got the Crow figure here. Like, he is really cool. Like, this guy is one of my favorite Marvel Legends to date.
That's been my favorite one I've seen in your video so far. That's the one I actually was like, oh, maybe.
The actual color and like the paintwork on him is just so cool. And these hands, like I just can't wait to see him on screen. I just think he's going to be a cool villain. But yeah, he was one I got. There's a few flaws of him in that. But yeah, I've just got a load of Eternal figures. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, though, there's so many things coming.
The slow reveal from Hasbro.
It's been Agatha all along.
Oh wow, she's big.
Finally got the Agatha pop. I'm really happy with myself.
No, she's not big. I thought she was
just a regular. You know
what? That genuinely looked like a huge Funko Pop. So.
No, just the regular one. But I finally tracked her down. I'm so happy. I could not find this for the love of money for weeks, and I finally got one.
Oh, nice.
And they're just re-releasing it everywhere. They've just announced that it's going to be available everywhere.
I must admit that I'm really annoyed because we had a load of Disney stores, and obviously the Disney shops were all closing up and stuff like that. But we had a pop-up one here, and it closed about a year ago, maybe a year, 2 years ago.
One in Chelmsford, that was great.
But there was loads of pop-ups everywhere, and they just slowly disappeared. And I think it's a real shame because they were a real like little sort of like gold mine of things, the one I went into, they didn't have Marvel Legends, but then they had Marvel Legends, and they didn't have the Select. And I got the Select Venom when they re-released that. Literally the day that I saw it advertised everywhere, they had it on the shelf, and that was just a really cool little bonus. So I'm really disappointed there's not the Disney sort of stores available still. But yeah, I don't know what to expect, to be honest here. There's so many delays and things popping up. I've got a couple of packages in the post that I'm being sent by various different people. I've got a couple of orders that I'm waiting on sort of delivering. I've got a couple of orders that are like way delayed. So I have no idea what's turning up. It's a bit of a gamble, which is always fun.
Yep.
Mystery.
But yeah, I must admit though, why on the subject of the Eternals? Because obviously, and I wasn't alone with this either, because obviously the Eternals wave kind of gave you 7 figures and a builder figure. And then you had the 2 store exclusives. 6 figures and a builder figure. And then there was 2 store exclusives, and then there was the deluxe figure of Crow as well. But to have the entire kind of team in one go was a weird feeling. It really was kind of bizarre, because ordinarily with Marvel Legends, you would get 2 or 3, and then you'd get like a comic book character thrown in, or some really obscure character that has nothing to do with anything. And then you'd be hoping for a second wave, or maybe they're going to give us this. No, but it kind of worked. But I don't know. It felt weird, but it was good weird. It was kind of like, this is cool. That every box I open, I'm building up this thing, and actually looking on the community groups and stuff, there seems to be a lot of people that have done the same. That have kind of got this wave just because of the novelty of being able to complete a team almost straight away. But yeah, I mean, there's some of the figures have got, there's certain flaws and stuff. Like the Druid figure, for example, has like 0 articulation. Like I did a review on him, but literally his shoulder pads don't let his arms move up, and his skirt doesn't let his legs move. And I'm like, what is the point in this being a figure? Like, you might as well just give us a lump of plastic. But they're good figures. I'm really, really excited for the Eternals film. I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to pleasantly surprise a lot of people. I think it could be another kind of Guardians of the Galaxy thing where people are like, oh, who are these guys that have got nothing to do with the people that we know, the characters that we know, and then it just ends up being a really cool film. But I think it's going to be a good one.
When can you guys see Shang-Chi so we can finally talk about it?
When it drops on Disney Plus in November.
12th of November when it comes out. 12th of November when it drops in. Yeah, 12th of November, mate. No, I don't know. I might go and see it, but I've got a whole list of films I want to see.
Venom is higher
Mansion. I'm making a lot of effort here.
Venom is taking precedence.
Squid Games.
Yeah, Venom is going to be higher on my list than thing is.
Yeah, I'm going to go and see Venom.
Yeah,
and then you got Spider-Man. Let's be honest. So
I'm going to see them all.
No, I want to see Shang-Chi. I think the shame of it is because it was released in cinema and not on streaming service and stuff. Like a lot of people sent me a lot of spoilers, like, oh, have you seen this bit of it? Because they know that I'll share something on my Instagram or talk about it or whatever. But so I do get sent kind of little tidbits and stuff, and I got sent enough that I could kind of make up enough of a narrative of the film.
This is your problem. Thankfully I'm so unpopular. I don't get anything spoiled from it. So that's where you've gone wrong. That's where you've gone wrong.
Yeah, but 9 out of 10 times I don't know. I'll open a message and then I'll be like, oh man, like come on, like. But they kind of expect that's okay. But I don't mind. What if
spoiler? Iron Man dies. Oh damn it!
Yeah. Multiple times.
We call ourselves the Geek Week in Review, but one thing we haven't reviewed from this week that was massive, and we've not talked about it. The Game of Thrones damn trailer. Did you see that?
What the House of Dragons?
House of Dragons.
You know what? I had that on my. I had
Game
it.
Of Thrones.
What did you just say?
I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
And Ryan was never seen again.
Leaving the chat.
You mean you haven't seen the season finale of Game of Thrones? You haven't watched the final episode? Well,
the first episode. From that to the finale. Just the bits in between that, that's what I haven't seen.
No, I must admit,
loads, but in the middle.
To be fair, if you watch this new one, you'll be pleasantly surprised at what everything happens. Like me and Jacob would be like, "Yeah, we knew that would come in, mate," and you'd be like, "Yeah, but it was awesome."
Yeah, yeah,
we already know what's going to happen.
It was the time commitment to it that was the problem. Like, I really invested in Walking Dead, and I lost traction on that on about season 5 when it stopped being about zombies anymore, and I was like, oh. Just people going like, we need to make decisions. Oh, we'll hurry up and make it. And then like everyone was like about Game of Thrones, and then it got to the point where I knew it was ending like in 2 seasons time. I thought actually I'm just going to wait, and then I will binge it at some point. But the problem is the episodes are long and there's a lot of them, so it's a big time commitment. And like there's so much good geek stuff coming out constantly now because of Disney Plus.
Yeah,
it's really hard to find time to suddenly go like Game of Thrones. That's short.
I'm not gonna lie, Game of Thrones it's worth it. It's definitely worth the commitment. But yeah, so this is House of Dragons. So this is essentially like hundreds of years before what we've seen, isn't it? So it's essentially setting up
Knights of the Old Republic sort of time.
Yeah, essentially. But this is correct me if I'm wrong, Sorrell, but this is essentially setting up the houses, isn't it?
It sets up the houses and also sets up the Mad King and what's he called? Agar or something?
Yeah. And
his character basically.
We're essentially going to see the wall get built and stuff like that. I would have thought. So it's going to be a good.
It's not a Trump rally for watching a wall be built, but
no, trust me, you'll get it. You need to watch this one. Watch this one, and I think you'll probably then go and watch the original series. But
obviously, the news that came with it was the fact that at the end of this month, we will have HBO Max in the UK.
Really? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
We will officially get lots more films coming straight to streaming instead of going to the cinema now.
Yeah. How is it working though? Is it another subscription service?
So it's a subscription service and you pay a pass, and that pass includes all these films. So you don't pay any. Like Disney Plus makes you pay 20 quid to unlock it. This is, I believe, from what I've read, I believe this is that you pay the one subscription and you can either get like a base subscription or like the top whack one, which will include all of the releases at cinema. But it just depends how they do it for the UK. We're a different territory to America, so they might not give us those yet. We don't know how it's going to work.
No.
I'm hoping they do.
Exciting. It's definitely one I'm going to have a look at when the prices come out. But yeah, no, it was a cool trailer though. It didn't really give a huge amount away, but it just enough of a nod to certain things that you were like, oh, that's going to be good. That's going to be exciting. So yeah, no, I was excited when I saw that. Not gonna lie.
feel like I get judged a lot for what I haven't seen on this, so I'm going to throw that out there. There's
So
a
let's
lot
bring
of
it. Let's bring it back though, because hang on, you did watch Hocus Pocus, and we in
Right.
previous weeks.
So, yes.
Previous weeks, we worked out that you haven't seen Hocus Pocus, and you actually did sit down and watch it. So give us your very quick rundown of what you think.
Bloody Midler.
Was incredible. Is that how you're
You
going to
know what?
that?
No, I'll tell you what. So it's interesting with Hocus Pocus because when you've got a film that effectively you've had like 20 odd years solid of hype, and all that people have been talking about is like it's the perfect Halloween film, like this, you know, it's hard not to think it's not going to meet expectations because of how long. That's a long time for some people to solidly say about it.
Yeah.
Plus, also, the more someone tells you, like, you haven't seen this, oh my God, you got to watch it. You kind of go, I'll get around to it, and then you don't. So anyway, we do this thing where we watch something Halloween related every single day during October, like me and my wife. So it was her choice, and she was like, well, since you've not seen it and the guys keep having a go at you to do it, they're going to watch it. So I was like, okay, right. So we watched it. I really enjoyed it. There are a couple of things that annoyed me in it. But I guess in the same way that because of the age I'm watching it for the first time, it's a bit like Home Alone, where actually now I really want the bandits to catch Kevin because Kevin is awful. Like I'm sitting there, and when the bandit stiffens, I'm like, get back up, you can still get him. So I guess when I'm watching,
he's a small child.
No, he's evil. He is an evil, sarcastic little back of my hand. But yeah, he's awful. But I really enjoyed it. I loved the sort of the theme of it. What's interesting is, for a Disney film, they've mentioned virginity a lot. Like that's they really focus on that. You know, I'm surprised someone didn't turn around at the end and be like, abstinence is the strongest power. Like that was so you know they focused on that. But the performances were really good. I even though I really don't like Bette Midler, the three witches were amazing in it. It's the focus. I can see why people want a sequel to it. I think it was weird because I only knew the guy who plays, you know, the talking cat, which was apparently the same cat prop was used in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah.
Yep.
But the guy who voices it is the guy who plays like one of the little lackeys in NCIS. So I was like, oh, it's that guy. So it was sort of weird. I really enjoyed it. There were some bits that annoyed me, but I have seen it now, and I get it. I can see it being a yearly Halloween watch, and especially it's a fun Halloween film for the family.
So your main gripe of it was that they mentioned virginity a lot. That's what I'm getting from that review. I really enjoyed it.
Now you have to go and you have to find the YouTube video where they replace the voice of the cat and put Nick Bakley's voice in, the guy who voiced Sabrina the Teenage Witch's cat. There is a cut on the internet where you can watch the whole film, and it's just Nick Bakley making noises and saying random things in the film, and it is hilarious.
Why am I keep getting home? Why is no one else getting homework? We come off this geek week and I'm getting homework. I'm getting graded on it. I get feedback. No one else is getting this.
But you can see why we enjoyed it as, you know, young men watching that as a kid, and then Sarah Jessica Parker and Yum.
Yeah. I do totally get it. That's the thing. I think it's just contextually, it's been weird watching it for the first time as an adult because I probably don't have that same rose-tinted element to it as others would. And I just want to say enough to not get hated or death threats. I've seen it now.
I just love the fact that they entered some random dude's house, called him Satan in front of his face, and he went along with it just because it were three women in his house, and his wife just sat there and let it happen. What world are we living in?
Also, that's his sister in real life.
Oh, is it?
The guy playing the one who's playing his wife is his sister in real life.
Wow,
that's funny.
Didn't know that.
They're all along.
But it's a good Halloween film. It's a feel good Halloween film, and it just the whole put a spell on you scene. It's just come on, like that's just.
You know what? That was actually one thing I did say to Caroline when they started. Like when Bette Midler's got it in front of a microphone, I was like, "Oh, of course, Bette bloody Midler put a song in it for herself." Sweet Jesus, God, I just hate Bette Midler.
But amazing.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
My favorite scene to this day is still the two bullies at the beginning, the two guys. You know, it's ice. It's not Ernie no more. It's ice.
Yeah,
and it's written in the back of his head. Like, oh my God, it's so 90s that, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the fact that made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, no, it's a good film. I'm glad you saw it. We're yet to still put it on this year. it's a bit closer to Halloween. I'll put it on.
I hope Hocus Pocus 2 starts with them two idiots now as grown men still in them cages singing "Row, row, row your boat." That is how I hope Hocus Pocus 2 starts.
Yeah,
just them still there going row, row, row.
Yeah, that would be very good. That would be very good. But yeah. So
no more homework.
Anything else major this week?
That was it. That was
everything.
That
was it, wasn't it? There really wasn't much.
We've dragged this out as long as we can.
Yeah, well, we've done quite well, I think. But yeah, I mean, I think there is a lot coming. I mean, it's one of these things that obviously every week of October, we know there's a tsunami about to hit.
Yep.
Like it's, one of these shows in this month, we're just going to be like, oh, right, why couldn't they have dragged that out? Because we're going to try to get it all in one. But I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come.
So it looks like next week might be a bit of a DC themed episode because we've got the DC Fandome this next week. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about and take in.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we saw decent.
So we did that.
Well, Ryan was ejected from the chat.
Speaking of which, though, we saw the very first kind of real glimpse of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, didn't we?
Yep.
In the trailer.
Why does that sound like a euphemism?
I know. It
got a first glimpse of the Rock's Black Adam.
I saw Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam. But no, that's going to be cool. And did you see the Shazam trailer as well with turning the lights on bit? Like,
no,
not seen that. Oh, it's really good. Yeah, it's like where they all walk out and it shows you all the suits, like, and Ooh. Yeah, and then Shazam's like in the doorway and he's like says something like, "Oh, it's a bit dark in here. Why don't we put a light on?" Like, it's just, I can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I just hope that Shazam and Wonder Woman never meet in the films because that's just no on every level. No.
Yeah, that can't happen.
Happens in the comics.
Yeah.
No.
It's a PG show. Let's keep it PG.
No, it can't. No. You just
I thought you broke Jake then.
You've broken me a little bit. I'm just like, no.
Jake just sitting there rocking back and forth going, no.
I hadn't even thought of it.
Sorry, it's just because I have to get all this out on your channel because I've got to go back to my channel in a minute, the PG, and I don't like it. I have this little bubble I have to sit in, and then as soon as I turn that camera off, I just started swearing uncontrollably.
What I love about that whole comment though was like, I've got my channel, I really care about that because I'm on Jake's channel. I'm going to destroy it.
Because I'm here, I don't care. Let's just talk about
his words you never say on the internet. Top 10. Let's go.
No, I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for fandom. I'm just excited to see what's going to come out. Mainly, I like the DC TV and movies and stuff like that. So I'm kind of off of the collectibles and the.
I've got a feeling we might find out what's next for Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie. I've got a feeling they'll announce something. They've just had the Suicide Squad film. They're really have put all the chips in one basket with her, haven't they? So I mean, they're going to announce another Harley Quinn project.
Yeah.
So whether it's going to be another standalone film, or we'll call it a standalone film, or whether it's going to be Sirens finally, I'm hoping it's Gotham Sirens announced.
Sirens would be good.
That would be a good one to do. Because the Harley Quinn TV series, the animated show, is awesome. That's just generally one of the best animated shows they've done. Like it's genuinely funny.
Yeah, and let them explore that side of with
Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I completely agree. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about everything then. I think that's a not a huge. But actually, there was a lot to talk about this week. It was all
more entertainment based than toy based this month.
Yeah, and not all linked. It was all very independent, like a trailer here, a trailer there, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, that's cool. All right. Well, listen. If you're listening on podcasts, then obviously please do check the box. As I said at the beginning, links to details in there so that you can obviously watch this on YouTube. You can follow these guys on their various channels. And if you are watching on YouTube and you're enjoying the show, then as always, please do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things. Check out Ryan's details below. Check out Sorrell's details below. And if you're not following them already, make sure you do.
When he says follow us, he doesn't mean in person. That's called stalking. Just throwing it out there.
Ryan, follow him on social
The
media. Do not follow him on the street. But as always, we do appreciate you tuning in and watching. And until next time, keep it geek.